There's a demonic spirit that attaches itself to narcissism, and it is slipping past the discernment of Christians everywhere. And if you've ever wondered, why didn't I see this sooner? Or questioned whether someone was manipulating you spiritually, you're not imagining it. There's a reason that it blindsides even the most mature believers. So today I'm going to show you what this spirit actually is, how it operates, and how to deal with it if you've already encountered it. I want you to imagine taking a vitamin daily that you truly believe is helping you. It gives you energy, improves your mood, makes you feel stronger, but hidden inside that pill is a slow-moving toxin. So subtle that you don't even notice it at first until one day your body starts breaking down from the inside out. That is exactly how this spirit operates. It presents itself as supportive, godly, even an answer to prayer, but behind the scenes, it is quietly poisoning your peace, your discernment, and even your identity. So, what is this spirit? The one that charms, flatters, comforts, and then slowly poisons everything God is building in you. It is the spirit of Jezebel. Now, before you go clicking away saying, well, Chris, thanks a lot, but my toxic person is a man, so this doesn't apply to me, stay with me. Because this spirit is not about gender. It doesn't have a female personality. It doesn't need a female vessel. It can and does often work through both men and women, though it will present differently through each. Now, in Scripture, Jezebel wasn't just a wicked woman. She embodied a spirit of seduction, manipulation, intimidation, and spiritual corruption. She silenced prophets, she twisted truth, she used emotional influence to control kings and nations, she waged war against anyone who threatened her power. Even Elijah, one of the boldest prophets in the Bible, was so shaken by her threats that he ran into the wilderness and begged God to take his life. That's the power of this spirit. It doesn't just intimidate, it spiritually exhausts. And Jezebel appears again in Revelations 2:20, where the church in Thyatira is warned, and it says, "You tolerate that woman Jezebel. She leads my servants astray." Notice, God wasn't describing one ancient queen. He was exposing an active spirit that deceives, manipulates, seduces, and blinds God's people in every generation. And that's why so many Christians don't discern it at first, because this spirit doesn't march in with horns and fangs. It presents itself as wise, protective, spiritually insightful, sometimes even anointed. It looks helpful until the damage is already done. So what does Jezebel have to do with narcissism? Well, honestly, more than Christians realize, because when you put their traits side by side, it's the same spiritual blueprint. And once you see this, my friend, you're not going to unsee it. So let's open your eyes to these traits. Trait number 1 is the beautiful trap. In other words, it's the charm designed to disarm. This is the trait that makes narcissistic influence and the Jezebel spirit so hard to spot at first. It hides behind warmth and humor, spirituality, instant connection, intense empathy, and even flattery. They make you feel chosen, seen, safe. Your guard naturally drops because nothing ever feels threatening. Spiritually, it mimics what discernment feels like. I just sense something special about this person. But what you're sensing is not spiritual alignment. It is strategic bonding. Their charm is not affection. It's data gathering. They study your words, your wounds, your insecurities, your childhood patterns, your unmet needs, even your God-given strengths. They mirror what you want so they can later exploit what you lack. So think of it this way. Charm gets you emotionally invested before you have time to discern. And once hooked, you excuse red flags, you override your intuition, you spiritualize unhealthy behavior, you downplay your discomfort because they seem so sincere. Practically, this is going to lead to destructive attachments, trusting someone who has not earned it, losing objectivity about the relationship. Spiritually, it's going to lead to confusion, weakened discernment, and a vulnerability to deeper manipulation. Charm is the entry point for Jezebel's influence, and if it disarms you early, it controls you later. If you've spent years trying to love someone who blames you, twists the truth, and never assumes responsibility for their behavior, then this is for you. Maybe you've begged God to heal the relationship. Maybe you questioned yourself, tried harder, forgiven over and over, only to be met with blame, silence, or twisted words. My friend, that's not love. That's emotional captivity disguised as commitment. And it's keeping you from the freedom that God intended for you.